Hey, what's up, everyone? And this is, excuse me, let me start over. Rewind. Alright, welcome to the Ant-Man channel. I'm your host, Ant-Man, and I got some news for you. I didn't have any news earlier, but that's because earlier I was busy. I was doing a bunch of stuff, and I'm never always here, even though it looks like it. I'm not like, like Brack on, like, the Brack show, where, like, you don't ever see them, like, away from their desk. Anyways, I'm done being silly. It is Monday, the 29th of July, 2013, and I hope you guys are having a roller coaster of a day like I am. God works in the impossible, and even when our circumstances seem hopeless, that's when God comes to the scene. And today, He's been kind of showing me that regardless of my situations and circumstances, that He's there with me. He's always there with you. So just trust in Him. He's awesome. I have an article in front of me here from WND.com under the column Faith. This is written by Reza Khalili. Reza Khalili used to have his picture on WND, but he doesn't have it there anymore. This guy's like a former CIA something. This guy is a former insider with information, and it's amazing. He's a good journalist, I would say. His article is called WND Exclusive, probably a front pager. There's a lot of videos attached to this if you want to go check it out for yourself. It's called Iran, Armageddon at hand, prepare for war. Islamic Messiah, Mahdi, expected to return with Jesus. Kill infidels, they said. You got here a picture of Ali Larijani, Islamic Republic Speaker of the Parliament at the 9th International Conference on Mahdism Doctrine. Religious nutjob stuff. Anyways, I don't really know a lot about the Muslim religion, but I just know that if they are telling you, go kill people, then they're probably nutcases. So, anyways, I'm going to get into this article because I'm kind of interested into knowing what all the fuss is about here. Iran is again asserting that Armageddon is at hand and that the Islamic regime's followers, indeed all of Islam, must prepare for a monumental change in the world. What this reminds me of already is how the children of Israel were used to judge Jericho, and then Babylon was used to judge Israel. And I noticed something about God is that if He doesn't like you as a nation because you're living in sin, you're being sodomites, you're being homosexuals, you're being hardcore perverted, and you guys are being hardcore unjust and unrighteous and all of that stuff, He's going to have somebody carry out His fiery indignation. Officials of the Islamic regime last month held their annual conference on the Mahdism doctrine to prepare for the coming of the last Islamic Messiah, the Shiites, 12th Imam, Mahdi. Shiites, whose clerics rule Iran with an iron fist, really believe that at the end of times, Mahdi, a 9th century prophet, will reappear with Jesus Christ at his side, kill all the infidels, and raise the flag of Islam in all four corners of the world, establishing worldwide Islamic governance. Well, there's a Muslim that's my president. He's not my president, but he's the president of my country, and he's running things straight into hell. But, it's a trip. They pretty much are already everywhere, and it's becoming like a hate speech if you say anything bad about them here in this country. But, you can talk all you want about Christians, so let's all talk bad about Christians. Ali Larijani, the Speaker of Iran's parliament, said at the conference that I hope Iran's Islamic revolution is that of the righteous government before the coming. According to Fars news agency, the regime's media outlet run by the Revolutionary Guards. It's funny how contradictory the Islamic religion is compared to Christianity, because us Christians know that nobody can escape that day. We're not calling for that day to come, even though we don't like what we see in this country right now. It's not like I'm saying, oh, Lord, come and judge us already. I'm not saying that. But it's funny how contradictory the Islamic religion is, because they're like, judgment, judgment. They just love judgment. So it's like, if you understand God, you know that you don't want that. If you're in the right with God, it doesn't matter. But for everyone else, it's like, that sucks, because they're in the dark. They're on the wrong side here. So a righteous government is a key to Mahdi return, the Shiites believe. It has been stated in the Islamic hadith that a wave of uprisings, such as the current upheaval in the Arab world, takes place before the main uprising and that the righteous government takes place before the coming, which I hope Iran's Islamic Revolution is that. Wow. So it's just judgment. Yeah, let's judge everyone. That's what they're yelling. The speaker said that metaphysics and modern technology have diminished human spiritualism. Well, I always say this. Back in the 1400s, 1600s, a lot of the different branches of science were being created by a lot of creationists. Francis Bacon, Isaac Newton. These people were brilliant, and it's because they didn't have so many distractions. They went outside and observed nature and observed things that, that God created. Now we just observe, it happened during the Renaissance, where we're like, oh, the things that man can make are so brilliant. Fast forward, and then it went to the Enlightenment era. Fast forward, the Industrial Revolution. Fast forward, now we like Darwinistic psychology. It's like it paved the road to the Darwinian evolution theory that has been the main influence for dictators throughout centuries. So the speaker said that the metaphysics and modern technology have diminished human spiritualism, which I agree on, causing a sense of nervousness in which people have lost hope, and that this effect will reach its maximum before the coming. All mental crises are rooted in hopelessness and despair in life, Laranji said, and from a society point of view, this is because the big powers of the world are pushing for a culture that has no identity, and with their power give their illicit desires a legal aspect. With the help of their media, they explain away the biggest corruption. Absolutely. It's funny, I had somebody on Facebook just now come at me like, isn't it great that we have the separation of church and state? And she has it all wrong. She has it all backwards. Like she says, like, I think she has the preconceived notion that she thinks that Christians are pushing their religion on people, when it's actually not true. We have the right to believe whatever we want, and if we want to engage in politics, that's okay. It's called religious liberty. You cannot infringe on my property. That's my property. What I believe in is my God-given right to believe whatever I want. So if I want to go into politics, I have a right to an opinion. Why you see this stuff going on in politics is because there isn't enough Christians in politics. They're all sellouts. They have no water. They hold no water, these windbags. They go wherever the wind blows. They take bribes. Republicans and Democrats, it's like an illusion that there is like this paradigm where it's like Republicans and Democrats fighting each other. They're on the same side. They're all working together. Many regime officials participated in this year's conference, including military commanders, and several guests spoke of the importance of the Shiite ideology on Mahdi's coming and the need for jihad for the final battle. So everything's just judgment for them. Mahdiviat conference, or the Mahdiviat conference is convened annually to prepare for the coming. A high Iranian politician said recently that he believes the Syrian revolution could be the catalyst for sparking a worldwide conflagration that will usher in an era of Muslim domination of the world. Well, the people who are holding all of whatever happens in Israel, like I think Syria is the one that is gonna be the deciding factor. As soon as they get out Assad out of that, oh man, when they get Assad out, you Christians better run for your life over there, man. Because that's going to be a horrible, the Middle East is going to be just a very bad place to be, man. I'm not saying Assad is a saint either, the guy's not good at all. But at least they're not these Iranian politicians that believe, at least our government doesn't have like a government religion. Like, oh, the state runs the religion that you have to believe in. That doesn't happen here. But in Iran, they try to imprison you for believing in Christianity over there. I read it all the time. I know about all kinds of people that are over there in the Ivan prison that are being put in there for no reason because they preach the gospel to people, and they call it a matter of national security, which is that's like Obama saying, me calling him a traitor is a matter of national security, which it is. Oh man, black uniforms are gonna come in here and just waterboard me now. And because I believe that, so one can, oh yeah, and they're already targeting us now. I hope you know that it was in the news today that that they're gonna start calling Christians whatever Christians talk about, like good things, they're gonna call it hate speech, and then they're gonna pretty much mark us so that we're like they're gonna come for our guns. Oh, Christians, conservatives, all the right-wing Tea Partiers, they're going to get their guns taken away because they are the real enemy of the United States of America. That wasn't even me trying to be Obama. My Obama impersonation is pretty funny, but I think everyone's Obama impersonations, like it sounds like their voice. But anyways, one can smell from the crisis in Syria the coming of the end of the times and the coming of the last Islamic Messiah. That's what I just said. Wow. Said Ruhollah Hossein, a member of the Islamic regime's parliament. Hossein has served as deputy of the intelligence ministry and a member of the board of trustees in the Islamic Revolution Document Center. I read an article of Shorshesh. This is by Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein. It's a very good magazine. I read it today, and how Prime Minister Netanyahu explained it is really it gives me chills, because he's like, we're entering a new era of war, and I'm like, whoa, because it's kind of like up to Israel and the United States, I guess. Well, it's not up to them, but you know, they're funding radical Muslims in Syria right now. I mean, if you want to talk about Twilight Zone politicians these days, man, our own government is funding radical Muslims in the Middle East, dude. That is like the most ridiculous thing. So Al-Qaeda, who bombed the World Trade Center, now is our ally? That doesn't make any sense. Based on hadiths by Muhammad and his descendants, the Syrian revolution is the start to the coming of Mahdi Hosseinian, said in a speech quoted by Fars News Agency. Fars News Agency. Wow, that's like a tongue twister for me. Hadiths from Ali, the Shiites' first imam, also state that a sign of the coming will be the fall of the walls of Damascus. Wow. Hossein told the audience that they should prepare themselves for war. Man, these guys are the biggest warmongers on earth. Everything that comes out of their mouth is war, kill the Crusader Christians, kill all the Jews. Man, the coming of His Highness is assured. The Prophet has promised that people from the East, which according to the Hadith means Iran, take power and prepare for the government of Imam Mahdi. Despite the Islamic regime being under crippling UN, US, and EU sanctions, it has refused to stop its illicit nuclear program. Over a decade of negotiations with talks as recent as April, with the 5+1 world powers have failed, the West hopes that it could restart negotiations once Iran's new president, Hassan Rouhani, takes office in August. So, there you go. There's a lot of videos here if you want to go check it out for yourself. This article is Iran Armageddon at hand, prepare for war, under WND.com under the column Faith. Let me see how much time I have. I have a little bit. However, a former intelligence officer, now defected to the Scandinavian country, said the West must understand that even the election of Rouhani was by design by the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, only to buy time so that the regime could reach its goal of becoming a nuclear-armed state. Some analysts believe that Iran's drive for nuclear weapons is to facilitate the coming. Any new negotiations must be prompt and serious, making the Islamic regime understand that there will be no wasting time, said the source, adding that the world's balance relies on how the West handles the regime's nuclear ambitions. I'm not really worried. Well, I kind of am, but, you know, like, if you were paying attention to the article I posted the other day, China is now in cahoots with Cuba, and it's like the new Cuba Missile Crisis going on, where they could detonate a missile above our atmosphere and cause a EMP and cause all our infrastructures to go out. Well, that's actually, you know, in the works now, so we got to watch out for Cuba and China. However, let's see here. Iranian media say Rouhani would nominate Mohammad Fourazadeh, a former chief of staff of the Revolutionary Guard and a former defense minister, to head Iran's nuclear negotiating team. Reza Khalili translated this Iranian video about... Okay, there's a video here if you want to go check it out. I encourage all of you to go do it. It's very interesting stuff, man. Don't be afraid of real... You know, if you're, I guess, watching Fox News, I guess you're reading watered-down news. But if you like my videos, come subscribe. Ant-Man channel. God bless you guys.